welcome to Halfways. This video was filmed on April 5th, 2020, and we're going to be following CDC guidelines in order to make face masks out of this shirt. Let's get started. So to get started, you're going to need some thread, a pair of scissors, a needle, and maybe a couple of pins or maybe some tape to hold the cloth in place while you're working. And the cloth that you're going to use, I'm just using this old shirt right here. It's just long sleeve shirt. It's 100% cotton, and we're going to take this and we're going to measure out a 6-inch by 10-inch square. So we're going to do 2 of those. All right, so I cut the fabric. It's about 6 inches by 10 inches. And what I'm going to do next is these 2 long sides. We're going to fold these guys up about a 1/4 inch or so, as close as you can get. So it's going to be like this, and you're going to pin it into place here. Then do the same thing on the top. You're going to pin it into place, and then you're going to hem it. By hem it, I mean you're just going to sew a straight line along each ones. So these 2 things are like, they're stacked together, and you're going to stitch them together. So let's do one side. As you can see, I hand stitched these 2 squares together on one of the sides, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'll fold it up, then I'll fold it up, and then I'll stitch it. So I've sewn together the 2 cloth squares at the top and at the bottom. So this is what it looks like at both sides. So now we're going to flip it back over, and we're going to take a look at these 2 shorter sides. Each side you're going to fold it in about 1/2 inch, just whatever you need to do to make it straight on each side. You're going to fold it on both, and you're going to pin it, and then you're going to sew along these edges to attach the entire thing together. So then you'll have just a little bit of an opening, as you'll see in just a second. So now all 4 of the sides of the mask have been hemmed. Here's the front and the back. Now for the fun part, you're going to take 2 strips of cloth. These are just leftovers from when I was cutting up the shirt earlier. So they're about 10-ish inches each. Or you could take some elastic or even hair ties or rubber bands to do this part. But you're going to take a bobby pin or maybe a safety pin. Take the strip of cloth, fit it through the pin, just like that. Then you're going to go up this little gap that you've created on the shorter end. So you're going to put the pin through and scrunch up that fabric all the way till you find the end of your pin, which is a little bit tricky. Then you get it, and then whoosh, you pull the cloth right through. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Then once you have the cloth threaded through both of the 2 sides of the mask, you're going to take each end of the cloth and you're going to tie it. You can tie it to size. This fabric has a little bit of stretch on it, so I'm trying to tie it a little bit tighter. So just double knotting it to make a little loop, securing it in place. It's pretty secure. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side. You can do the same thing if you have elastics or some rubber band pieces that you're using to make this. But I just decided to make everything from the same scrap t-shirt. There we go. There you go. And then here we have the back of the mask and the front of the mask. Let's try it on. Here we go. So as you can see, it's a little bit loose, so I can take it off, and all I have to do is tighten these two knots and make it a little bit smaller. So now that I've tightened the knots a little bit, let's try it again. There we go, a nice snug fit. And that's how you sew a face mask. So I made this one without a sewing machine. I just hand stitched it, but then there's also another simple way to make a face mask without having to do any sewing at all. So let's see how to do that one. So we're going to take another shirt, and this time we're going to cut off the bottom of it. Alright, since now you have the bottom of the t-shirt, so it's still connected, what you do is just fold up to the middle and down to the middle. Flatten it out. Then you're going to need 2 hair ties or 2 rubber bands or scrunchies. You're going to thread this through on one side, thread this through on the other side, and you can keep doubling up the t-shirt fabric until you have about the size that you'll need for your face. Then you take this flap on one side and you'll fold it over here, leaving this band free on the side. Take this, fold it over here. So again, this band is free. Then see these little flaps? You can probably tuck these in, depending on how much fabric that you have. You can tuck them in to this bottom flap and this top flap. So just kind of tuck it in, fold it into the best you can, and then you have a little mask. It took you just a minute to make it. So now if we try this mask on, let's carefully place it on our face and tuck the bands around her ears. And there we go, another mask. This one was really quick and really easy to make. So we made 2 different masks today. The first one took about 30 to 40 minutes to hand sew using thread, a needle, a couple of pins, some tightly woven cotton cloth, I used a t-shirt, and a pair of scissors. The next mask we made was just from the bottom of a t-shirt and 2 hair ties. It took about 45 seconds to 1 minute to make. A couple important reminders with these masks is to always wash your hands before putting them on and also before taking them off, as well as after taking them off. It's important to make sure you don't have any germs on your hands while your hands are really close to your face. It's also important to note that these masks do not prevent COVID-19. However, they are part of the new guidelines for the CDC, and just to keep yourself healthy and isolated as much as possible. The link in the description to the CDC website gives you some more information as well as additional instructions to how to make face masks. Thank you guys so much for watching.